Hello and welcome to another fabulous episode of the Middle Country Public Library podcast. I'm Sal DiVincenzo here with my wonderful colleagues Sarah Fade and Nicole Rambo.
Hello.
How's everyone doing?
Great.
Good.
We're going to jump right in with our segments. See if I can get through this one. Nicole, why don't you go first?
Yeah, so in this episode, I want to talk about media literacy.
Matching topics.
Get out, really?
Yeah. Kinda.
Media literacy?
Yeah.
Like being literate in using media?
Yeah.
Cool.
Because, almost a month ago, probably, did you guys do the New York Times AI quiz? So
No.
the New York Times put out this quiz and it has all these people's faces, and some of them are AI generated and some of them are real. It was impossible, like nearly impossible to tell.
Exactly what I'm talking about.
Oh, sorry. Well,
No, that's good.
Now they can talk about it together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and I went in, what's the word I'm looking for? Very confident in my abilities as an AI
no.
user. I like using AI, all that good
Not
stuff.
good, the good stuff.
Oh my
Not the free stuff.
No,
with,
yeah.
Like the weird sausage fingers.
Yeah.
Good
The
stuff?
good stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy. And like another librarian was like, it's really hard. And I was like, oh my goodness. I was just like, yes, no, yes. Like, I had no idea.
Yeah.
When
So-
I went back, like after I got them all wrong, I went back to see, and like I was like trying to like stare at like the shadow. Like, it's insane.
So is it just their faces?
Yeah, it's like a
Okay.
mid shot.
Because a lot of things with the AI,
Yeah,
the fingers, right?
Yeah, no, this was just like this part of them. But still, like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
crazy. Okay, so there's that. So that was happening, and then maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, another person thought something was legitimate that I don't want to say clearly wasn't, but wasn't, and it wasn't like. I think this is more where like the media, not more so, but like the AI one, like that was crazy hard. Like that is the future, and like no one's gonna hold you responsible for not getting that right. That it's just wild. Truly, it's wild. But there are some things that are still in our control that we can discern if this is real or not. And so that's why I think media literacy is important too, because it's not. And this, like, I'm a children's librarian, so it's focused on children and teens and whatnot. But like this person was an adult. Educated adult that still was
Well,
like,
it's just going to get more prevalent. So
Yeah.
it's good to educate children
Yeah.
and teens because it's going to be really bad when they're adults.
yeah, and like it's gonna go into we have like an election coming up, we have things coming up where it's very people
It's
want to know
scary.
things,
It's scary.
and so and it's not gonna go away. And if anything, we see that it's only gonna get better and better. So like, do what you can now to figure out if what you're looking at is right. And it's still skills that I feel like were talked about when I was in school. You know what I mean? Like just knowing where these things are coming from, kind of thing. So anyway, so PBS has like, what is media literacy and how can simple shifts center it? This is more so towards like teachers, but I thought still some of the stuff was good. So literacy, they say, is the ability to encode and decode symbols, synthesize and analyze messages. That's like the basic. The National Association for Media Literacy Education defines media literacy as the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, create, and act using all forms of communication. It's a broad definition of literacy that includes media beyond the text and promotes curiosity about the media we consume and create. Being literate in a media age requires critical thinking skills that empower us as we make decisions, whether in the classroom, the living room, the workplace, the boardroom, or the voting booth. That's from NAMLA. And then the why, they say teaching media literacy can help combat the current misinformation epidemic, and it empowers students. And then they have some resources, and we'll put them in the show notes, because there's some other tests you could take to see if you can figure out, like, is this website real? Like, not the AI one, because that was like insane, but like just even just seeing, like, can you spot how many of these things on this website are ads versus an actual story? Because sometimes you don't even realize
Yeah, it's
you're
true.
reading a whole ad.
it's true.
Like it's like crazy. It
It's
really
usually
is.
the health things,
Yes.
right?
Oh,
yeah.
Where it sells, like cure found for cancer or something like that.
Yes, that's
and
like-
you read through it,
yeah.
you're like, oh my goodness. And at the end, it's like, it's a vitamin or some supplement or something like that,
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is crazy. And there's actually, and then to go on, I was listening to another podcast recently, the review sites that you're reading online, if you're like, what's the best mattress? There's like 15 or 16 companies that own all of those review sites.
Oh, they're paid too.
And they're paying these freelancers to write these articles that you're reading. And like 9 times out of 10, they're not going around and sleeping on all of these mattresses. They're going and kind of aggregating other people's ratings and stuff. And even those, some of the time, are paid.
Yes.
Rate. Like, it's like, I mean, it's almost to the point where you're like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know.
Well, you know what Amazon is doing now? They're using AI to actually take everybody's review, actual reviews.
Yeah.
And it's making a.
Oh, I saw that,
It's
yeah.
like making a concise, concise review. But it's like most people say that.
Yes, I've seen that.
And that's all automated.
Yeah, but even that, like, if you start selling something, like, anyone can sell something on Amazon.
Yeah.
And if you're like, if I start selling something, like, Sarah, do you mind giving me a 5-star review and saying it's great? Like, you can do stuff. People do stuff like that too. So it's just, be mindful of this, and just try to do your research as much as you can. And time is limited, like, it's hard. It's hard. It is what it is. And with social media, with like access to even things like these nice cameras and stuff like that, it's all looking very similar. Like, everything is looking with like easy access to like editing software. You can make a little chyron that looks quite similar to a real news. You know what I mean? Like, it's very it used to be incredibly difficult to have access to these things, but the bar has come down where a lot of people have access. A lot of people are savvy and know how to use this, and everything's getting better. So, it's just being mindful of that, And then there's a little like sheet of like what to look for, like who's posting this, or why would they be, who's paying for this, again, like, so who owns this review site, interpretations, like how could I see it differently than them, why would they see it that way, different context, was the context of the story. So there's a little chart that goes over that. And then there's also just some books. We do have books, but even with books, these things move very quickly. So you do have to see what year some of this stuff was published in.
Yeah, exactly.
To make sure that they are kind of like up to date. So yeah, I just thought it was interesting. And it was like when this happened with that person, I was like, clearly this is fake, but it wasn't clearly. I happened to know because I had seen it before, so I knew it was fake, but it wasn't that necessarily clear,
Was it an actual person that they were like in a situation?
Yeah, it was kind of what I gave the example of a news story. So a person was like being interviewed for a news story, but it wasn't a real news story. And then it was a joke. It went on too long. Like there was definitely clues.
Yeah.
The way they were talking was like a little jokey. It went on way too long than a normal news story would. Like there are clues along the way, but picking up on these clues, noticing this stuff, because like the chyron looked legit, the setting, the way it was framed looked just like a news story, like all that kind of stuff. So it was interesting.
Yeah. Do you want to just really quick just show us your books?
Oh yeah, so we have Understanding Social Media, because I think a lot is happening on social media, obviously. So there's Social Media Savvy, and then there's Artificial Intelligence. So we're getting into that, and then Learning About Media Literacy.
Cool.
So these are some of the
Those
books.
are all
And
the
we
kids,
do
and
have
the kids' books.
Yeah, I pulled the ones that are like children's books.
Yeah.
And then we also have some over in Parents Collection about how to talk to your kids about this and like doing
That's
things
very
together.
important.
Yeah. And then like I said, we'll put the links to like some of the fun, because the little quizzes are fun too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole.
Yeah.
And Sarah's
I wanna know
going
what you have to say. Yeah.
Sarah's going to add on top of that.
Well, mine is a little more specific. So I'm actually, it's funny that you said about the books and everything, because we have a lot of online databases, and I'm talking about AI. And because it's such bleeding edge technology that it happens, like changes happen so fast. So a lot of times the best thing to do is to do research in periodicals. So we have something called JSTOR. And it provides access to more than 12 million journal articles, books, images, primary sources in 75 disciplines. So just so you know that it's not like you said, maybe an editorial or an opinion-based, it's all research-based and everything like that. So like you were talking about AI, I'm just going to go. I found this article. It is a little older. It's July 2022. And it's about artificial intelligence, deepfakes, and disinformation. So just to go over, I highlighted a few things.
Okay.
So a primary tool of disinformation warfare has been the simple meme, an image, a video, or a text shared on social media that conveys a particular thought or feeling. Russia used memes to target an election. China used memes to target protesters. And those seeking to question the efficacy of vaccines for coronavirus, and
right.
So let's talk a little bit about deepfake videos, right?
Those are crazy.
Yeah.
crazy,
So
crazy.
deepfake videos are synthetically altered footage in which the depicted face or body has been digitally modified to appear as someone or something else. They are, in this article, it says they're incredibly lifelike, and many fear that technology will dramatically increase the threat of both foreign and domestic disinformation. And also, something else that's been happening is, unfortunately, one of the threats besides misinformation is they use it to, this is an adult topic, but they put, I think, Taylor Swift's face on
yes.
some adult altered images, which weren't real, and they were very lifelike.
Yeah.
So, you have to watch out for that because it will tarnish people's reputation.
Well, people are afraid that if there's a video out there, an image out there, that they're going to be able to take a video, quote unquote, of them, which is a deep fake video of them committing a crime.
Yeah.
And then going to the police and saying, look, I have video of this person committing a crime. Well, it might not be them at all.
Yeah.
Exactly. This is a large article. It's 25 pages. I'm not going to really kind of go into it all, but I know I could
Long form content.
read it to you all.
Yes, read it aloud.
Deepfake videos represent an obvious threat, but voice cloning, deepfake images, and generative text also merit concern. So deepfake videos include synthetically modified footage that presents alterations in subjects' faces or bodies. These synthetic images are developed through generative adversarial networks, and the acronym is GANs. They love acronyms. So GANs. So they're saying that a really good deepfake video takes a lot of time and money. So those are the ones that you cannot tell the difference.
Right, yeah.
The ones that of like Stephen King, with his weird fingers, stuff like that, that's not, you can obviously tell. Well-crafted, in spring 2021, a TikTok account, Tom at Deep Tom Cruise, released a series of highly realistic deepfake videos of what appeared to be Tom Cruise speaking. Okay, it had over 15 million views and spurred significant public angst about the coming age of deepfake. So it showed everybody what is capable.
And that was in what, 2022, you said?
Yeah, 2021.
Forget. It's
Have you seen the Keanu Reeves guy? The guy who does Keanu Reeves?
It's insane.
It's amazing.
Yeah. So that is, happening. It's happening. Okay. So it's happening. A 2018 deepfake of Barack Obama using profanity happened. A 2020 deepfake of Richard Nixon's speech, one that he never even gave.
Yeah.
So it's not even like they took footage and altered it. It was completely made up.
The Barack Obama, was that Jordan Peele? No, really, no, because there was one who did a demonstration and they used Jordan Peele as being doing Obama, and then they put Obama next to Jordan Peele. So you see Jordan Peele and you see Obama, and when he's talking though, it's Jordan Peele's voice, but it's Obama's face.
Oh, wow.
Well, that's another thing is voice cloning. So another thing they're worried about with AI is voice cloning. So this allows users to mimic the voices of popular celebrities, and other famous or rich people. So they're saying, so this is real examples. A CEO of a UK-based energy firm, that they got a phone call from someone who sounded like his boss, and his boss told him to do a wire transfer of like around $250,000 to a bank account of a Hungarian supplier. Did not really happen, but
It's crazy.
So they do a lot. That's a lot of worry that they're using it to.
Did you see the vendor at Podfest? And that was what they were selling. They were selling the voice where you give them your voice, and then they actually make. It makes it you able to like type your show in instead of actually doing the show, and then the computer will say it in your voice. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Who was that?
I forgot who it was, but they sent me an email. They sent me an email afterwards to see if I wanted a free like a beta test of it, and I'm like, no, I don't want anybody to have my voice.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
That's nuts.
Yeah. And then we have deepfake images. So these are most commonly come in the form of headshot photos. Okay. So why this is concerning is because So, okay. This is this. Deepfake images have increasingly been used as part of fake social media accounts, right?
Oh yeah. Everyone's getting catfished.
Yeah. So, Facebook found dozens of state-sponsored accounts that use such fake images as profile photos, and which is not good. So,
No.
yeah. So this has been used. We used to have real images, but it's
Right.
easier to detect real images.
Yeah.
So that's why this is dangerous, is because when they use a lifelike image that's a person that does not exist in real life, they cannot tell if it's real or fake. Okay. So, using fake photos allows propagandists to get around the defensive measure that we just talked about, to use photos that are otherwise untraceable. So it's really bad. So someone can be like, use it for reviews, or use it to be like,
Right, yeah.
this person did this to me, and blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
Yeah.
It's really realistic. Generative text that we are so very popular of here. Some fear that generation text programs can be used by foreign adversaries of the United States. Hold on.
It's when you say state-sponsored Facebook pages, that's scary.
It is. So it could use produce text-based propaganda at a scale. Adversaries could also mass-produce fake news stories on a particular topic in a tactic akin to barrage jamming. You ever hear of this?
No.
It's a term applied to an electronic warfare technique in which an adversary blinds like a radar system with noise, but it's like text. So text generators could accomplish the same as social media. So they can just hashtag. So they can just create like millions of like posts, and they're not real.
Oh.
Yeah, and it could sway.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So, unfortunately, these are just some of the
It's
ways.
crazy.
What's
Yeah.
it called? What's the new Sora from OpenAI? Is that what it's called?
I think
Sora?
Sora, yeah.
Oh
So
my
many.
goodness.
Where you could just
Yeah.
say, a scene. I think the one I saw
Yeah.
was
Yeah, Sora's
couple-
video.
A couple walking in Japan
Yeah.
during cherry
Yeah.
blossom season, and it's like a drone behind them, and you see them walking, and it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Perfect, yeah.
It's crazy.
Okay, so if that's not bad enough, guys, okay? So all of these things are very high tech, kind of like. However, there's such a thing as shallow fakes, and they represent a more current threat.
Okay.
Shallow fakes are videos that have been manually altered or selectively edited to mislead an audience. Classic contemporary example in this genre is a video that appears to show the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, slurring her words. You guys remember that? So,
Because that never happened.
yeah. So they're really worried about these things. The second factor is maligning the use of deepfakes is that high quality videos are, at least for now, out of reach for amateurs. So
Right.
the really good deepfakes,
Right.
we
don't have
not so
access
bad,
to.
but we have to worry about shallow fakes.
Yeah,
okay?
have you seen the one with also Barack Obama where he's talking at the podium?
Yeah.
He says something and then he grabs the microphones and throws them down
Oh,
and
yeah,
walks away.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's not like his hands or anything like
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah. So, in the article, they talk about how we can sort of combat, all of this stuff, but it will take policies. And I just don't know if the government is really
They're not ready.
on top of all this
No, they're
stuff.
not ready
I
at all.
watched actually when they had that. It was like Sam Altman and some other, as a woman from IBM and some other people in the Senate hearing. Like I watched it, and they were like, no,
No, yeah.
we're not ready.
No.
And plus, they're not
not-
educated on it.
I was gonna say
either.
they're going at their pace, and people in Congress, the senator, like they don't know what
have
is
no
going
idea.
on. They have no idea. They barely know what Facebook is by now. Like
Yeah.
they're very far behind, and like they
Yeah.
have other things they're worrying about. No fault of any. I'm not trying to, but like it's nearly impossible to keep up with this.
Yeah, but also at the same time, let's be honest, the average age of a congressperson is like 65, 70 years old. It's like, so on this rock talk thing that you're doing on the poke face and, yeah.
yeah. Well, it doesn't help.
So, I would say to get more information about AI, really check out our online databases for the most current information
Right.
of what's out there, what's going on. Try to use authentic resources. Like you can see this one article, it has like 10 pages of like bibliography that he quoted from. And just get educated because we do have it's going to be a rough ride this election year,
Yep,
I think.
yep.
And I do think there's going to be a lot of misinformation. There's going to be those memes. There's going to be those
I was gonna
fake
say it's not even
pictures.
gonna be like deep high quality
the
stuff.
shallow
It's
fakes.
gonna be
Yeah.
exactly, and that's gonna
So it's really important, like you said, media literacy and just educate yourself
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
what's out there.
just take one more second,
Yeah, exactly.
like just one more second, and be
Yeah.
like, okay, wait, who posted this?
yeah, yeah.
Like,
It's
where
insane.
is this
I remember like one election, there was an ad of a congressman or something speaking, and the congressman was like, "That's not real. That's not me."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it wasn't. And they just, and I was like, "Ooh,
Scary
it's
stuff.
And once
scary.
it's out there, like I said, take an extra second, because like it gets out there, like, you know, there's nothing like blocking it from getting out there. So it's really unfortunately, you know, whether this should be our burden or not is something you could debate, you know, but like it is to figure it out, because like people don't go to the extra step, and now that person's there trying to say it's not me, and no one cares about that part.
Yeah.
They just care about the original
Yeah.
video. Like they made their decision, now they're moving on.
Exactly.
And it's hard to go back and be like,
Yeah.
no.
And it's hard because it just encourages, I don't want to say conspiracy theories, but it is, this kind of stuff is sort of spreading
Yeah.
just lies and misinformation that unfortunately,
I'll tell you what's scary though is that so on YouTube, I like to watch, you know, when SpaceX launched a rocket, they used to post the videos, and you know sometimes it'll say recommended, and you'll go through, and it'll say the username, it'll say SpaceX, right? So you're like, okay, it's probably SpaceX, and it'll be like, you know, Elon Musk discussing, you know, breakthrough and blah blah blah. So you open it up, and it's Elon Musk talking in front of the rocket and doing the thing. It's his voice, but he's like talking about Bitcoin and about investing in Bitcoin or something like
Yeah.
that. And it's a complete spoof. Has nothing to do with SpaceX, has nothing to do with a launch, has nothing to do with Elon Musk announcing anything. They're taking his voice and they're selling a product through him, like illegally.
Wow.
oh,
And it's like, you know, and you block these video, and then you notice, okay, it's SpaceX 1-2.
Right. Yeah.
So you block it. But then because you watched that video,
Right.
YouTube algorithm's stupid, honestly.
Yeah.
No offense to the YouTubers. But then it goes back and it'll say, oh, would you like to see? And you look at it, and it's like, okay, maybe this is the launch, but
Yeah.
it's not. It's him sitting at a table talking about, and again, it's his voice, but it's actually someone typing what he says.
it's crazy. Like everything about AI is crazy because there's other ways AI is being used that's not social media.
Right. Yeah.
And then the argument that like AI, it's not even an argument, it's true that AI is biased.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
right,
like if you run it, it will be racist, it will be sexist, it will be all these things because human nature is. So it's just there's so many crazy things going on with AI right now.
I watched a TED Talk. It's not called The Social Network, obviously. That's the movie about Facebook. But it's called The Social Something. And that person did a TED Talk on like AI. And it was a very interesting TED Talk. And the two things I remember the most was the fact that like AI used to be very segmented when they were first doing research. It was all done out of universities and it was all very, very segmented. And then I think in 2017, something happened and they all started working together. And once all of these different factions of AI started coming together, that's when it has
Got
absolutely
dangerous.
exploded.
Yeah.
Exploded out of the ability for these universities to keep a handle
Control.
on it of like, you know, and their funding, like it's like now is going to these private companies, which is, you don't usually want anything to go go there, like outside of that. So I remember that. And also what they talked about, not to bring it back, but like for kids and this like loneliness epidemic, which is also with adults, AI can, like Snapchat has an AI bot, if you've been on Snapchat recently, and like,
it's weird.
you can talk to it, it talks back, it gets to know you more, and it's gives you questionable advice. And if you're a child or you're an adult who maybe doesn't have friends, you know, doesn't have good friends or like people that you feel like you can trust and talk to, and you start talking to this AI, it sounds like a friend, and it just can lead you down a real wild path. And it's crazy. It's like
crazy
so
stuff.
nuts.
It is. Like there's so many different AI is just like
It's nuts.
it's crazy.
Well, look, great topic this week. Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's so funny.
Oh my goodness, what a great topic, an important topic too. Thank you so much, both of you, for talking about it. And we hope you enjoyed it. And if you did, hit the like button on YouTube and hit subscribe. If you want to listen to older episodes or read our show notes, mcplpodcast.com. And again, we're going to keep an eye on this, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out for you, and we'll let you know.
Brain trust right here.
We got it.
Exactly.
Don't worry, MIC.
We're good. So for Sarah, Sarah Fade and Nicole Rambo, I'm Sal DiVincenzo. We'll see you on the next show.